Another day, another dollar, another video about this wonderful game that we love, Marvel Rivals, along with some other assorted gaming news. Now, I've been able to all day dip, duck, and dodge every single leaky type bit of news about this map. I don't know anything about this map. I don't know what this map is, and it isn't in game yet. So I wasn't able to like accidentally get it in quick play or anything, not knowing. And I haven't hopped on a game in a little while, and I feel like I'm starting to yap a bit. So let's watch a bit. All right, I'm just going off of this right here because of the way Marvel Rivals is designed. If you notice, every domination map they've added so far at some point has a pillar in the middle that blocks the middle of the point, so that the point isn't just poker's heaven for like the characters that shoot. Like, imagine if you're standing right here, like imagine if you're Hawkeye standing on the edge and I gotta come from this direction and I'm a brawl character. Hawkeye can just at any time he wants instantly kill me. That's not fun. So for domination maps, they usually, whether it be like in the Hydra map where it goes up and down, or if it's just there statically, like in what's the Hellfire Gala map? Krakoa, where it's just a static pillar in the middle. There's always a pillar like that. Or even in Celestial Husk, the one that goes up and down, the Venom one, or the map with the sword. Just in case y'all didn't understand why that's there, that makes me think that this is a domination map. A convergence map at minimum. This is not a straight up convoy map. I know that much. Yeah, looking at the type of architecture that I see, this is 100% domination map. I wonder what this map's gimmick is, because for those of y'all who don't know, every map in this game is highly destructible, and there's different gimmicks behind the destruction. So for example, on why does it sound low? Because it is. All right, so that, make sure I got my filters on. Okay, cool. That's why it sounded weird. But anyway, every map has a different destruction gimmick. So, for example, on Empire of Eternal Midnight and that piece of shit map, Central Park, the destruction gimmick for those maps are that whenever you shoot at the walls, like whenever you use your chronovision and you see red walls, whenever you shoot those walls, they create, they turn into different structures. The destruction gimmick for the Loki map is that whenever you destroy stuff, it eventually comes back. And for the Venom map, whenever you destroy stuff, it turns into different architecture. So for example, in Celestial Husk and in the Nest Egg version of the map, alright, so like I forgot what I was saying. In a Venom map, when you shoot the floor, like the black parts of the floor, you know how some of the Venom walls will move, or it'll make bridges like in the middle of the map in Celestial Husk, the Nest Egg version of the map, stuff like that. So I wonder what's the construction gimmick for, I mean not construction, well, construction or deconstruction gimmick for this map. Maybe we'll see it a bit in this trailer. Wait, hold up. Was that Nigga Fist? Was that Iron Fist with dreads, my nigga? Oh, I thought that's just like a black shirt, ripped shirt or something. Wait. This is not a character that's currently in the game. I forgot who the fuck this is, but this is her own unique character. Nigga, is that Kraven? I can't wait till we can see the whole thing. So we can see. Oh! So these are all the past heralds of the Iron Fist, I'm guessing. And like, these walls are detailing its history and whatnot. Okay, that's kind of cool. The dragon that they get the fist from. Because for those of y'all who don't know, basically to get the Iron Fist, you have to fight a dragon. Like, it's some other stuff thrown in there, but that's a short version. You gotta punch a dragon. There that dragon go again. I see you. You the nigga who told Zuko to lightning bend. You the nigga who told Zuko fat ass uncle how to lightning bend. I see you, nigga. Oh, Larissa Loud, whatever the bitch name is. Angela Little Shorty. That fucking. I was liking this trailer till I saw that fuck ass PS4 trailer. I'm not gonna lie. If in this day and age you still playing games on PS4, nigga, I hope you get gout and the next time you go to the bathroom to take a piss, I hope acid come out your dick, bitch, nigga. And if you a woman, I hope acid come out your uterus and you get a yeast infection, dirty bitch. Anyway, moving on to the next topic. Oh, apparently Black Myth Wukong is getting a team up collaboration with McDonald's. It took too long. Comedic timing is fucked up. But apparently they're getting a collaboration with McDonald's and I have no idea about anything going on here. So I wanted to give it a read and see what's going on. McDonald's partnering with popular IP isn't something new or rare, yeah, because of the toys, blah, 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 blah. What the fuck is their collab? In his latest announcement via Google Translate, so if there's a detail or two in here wrong, Google Translate is the reason why. McDonald's China unveiled a collaboration with the highly successful Black Myth Wukong for the upcoming Mid-Autumn Festival in the country. Courtesy of the team up, a host of limited time menu items, including unique black bun we're out of there. I thought it was gonna be like a in-game thing or something. It's just, oh hey, we got a burger, the Black Myth Wukong burger, black bun. Man, shut the fuck up. Don't nobody care. What something that I, as someone who, is it still up? No, I took it down. But as somebody who was just playing Power World a few minutes ago before stream, someone who still does play the game off and on off stream because content wise, don't nobody want to watch a video about Power World unless it's another video saying that Nintendo's smacking their dick on the table saying, yeah, Power World, get ready to suck that, bitch. So a game that I've been still playing off stream, Power World, has a developer from Pocket Pair saying that a Dark Souls 3 mod could invalidate Nintendo's Pokeball patent, which there's already other stuff that can invalidate their patent, but whatever. Nintendo says mods don't count as real games, which I would agree with, because there are some, because what I think a lot of people mistake it with, because I've heard like some other people talk about this like in passing and TikToks and stuff like that, which usually I don't do, but like I don't make these gaming news videos as much anymore because I don't care about making them in the streams. I care more about making them in the TikToks, and I can do that once a week and get more than enough TikToks 9 times out of 10. And if I don't, just do another one in 2 days. Anyway, point is, I've heard other people talk about this, and I've heard a lot of people argue that even though like for the sense of this legal case, that's a good thing, but for the sake of the way that mods have been in general, I don't really think that's the case, because like, all right, so there is stuff for example, like Fallout London or it wasn't Nueva Vegas, Nueva Mexico, or stuff like that, or even other mods, like for example mods that I play religiously to this day, Super Smash Flash 2 Project not 9B, Project B, where if you look at the version of Super Smash Flash that they modded and look at what they have it at now, that shit is completely different. Like let me look up the character screen so y'all can see. Project 9B, or is it B? I'm gonna just search 9B. Oh wait, hold up. Project. Gotta put an SSF2. Images, like even you see right here, they added King DDD recently. They added goddamn Amy in there some time ago. Project 9B. DSS. I just want to see the character select screen. Okay. Oh, here we go. No, that's random mods. Is this 9B? Yeah, this is 9B. Open image in new tab. SSF2. Just to give y'all a comparison, let me look up SSF2 9B. Open image, a new tab. Wow. So this is what the Super Smash Flash 2 9B version, like that. It's a very old version. That's why like certain characters that you know and love look different or are missing. But this is what the 0.9B release version of Super Smash Flash looks like. You know, got a few characters here and there, but not nearly as many as in the official Super Smash Flash now. But the mod to that 0.59B, they added all types of character. Like they updated the Marth sprite. They've added the updated Marth sprites with the older Marth moveset. They've added Mewtwo, Lucario, like retroactively. They've added Terry Bogard. I know it's another. Oh wait, no, that's a genuine mod I added. But they got Shadow in this bitch. They got Knuckles. This bitch Lavender. They got Cloud in there. They got their own Ice Climbers. They put a Ness in there. They put Isabel, Wii Sports fitness trainer, whatever this hooker's name is. They put a bunch of different characters in there. So like I could see why people, like there are some people who consider mods games, but I'm more so on the side of, I don't really count them as games. I count them more so as expansions, because I feel like expansions are that thing in between a game that you sit there and create from the ground up, from scratch, creating your own assets or like thing base assets and stuff like that to create stuff, versus an expansion like for example Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, where Shadow of the Erdtree isn't its own game, but it's too big to just be called extra land in DLC when it has its own set of bosses, its new final boss, a bunch of new bosses and stuff like that. So I think a lot of that stuff just counts as modded expansion, not really full games. And that's why I think the Nintendo saying that mods don't count as real games thing come in. But one thing I want to say is I am speaking on behalf of myself. I'm not defending or like talking against Nintendo. I'm just more so saying my thoughts on the subject, because let's not get it fucked up. I will never in my fucking life defend a corporation. I just thought this would create answers in conversation. In 2021, shortly before the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus, Nintendo filed a patent on Pokemon style creature collecting mechanics. In 2024, after Power World's launch and its wild success, they registered some more new patents, blah blah blah. We know about that. Basically, they registered patents when Power World came out and started popping off so that they could smack their dick on the table and say, give us money, cut the game off. The divisional patents are at the heart of Nintendo's lawsuit against Pocket Pair. The Power World developer pushed back with a number of examples of similar mechanics in games ranging from Final Fantasy XIV to Monster Hunter. Basically, for those of you who weren't there for this part, Nintendo isn't the first one. Nintendo with first off, Pokemon didn't originally belong to Nintendo, but with Nintendo and Pokemon, the whole way that situation works, they were inspired by like they said up here. Well, no, actually they didn't say it up here, but they were inspired by another game that is very influential to literally every video game you play right now. Whether it's the RPG that is NBA 2K, because there's still some stupid niggas that have a hard time accepting that shit's a fucking RPG at this point. It's an RPG where you gotta pay to get a blue shirt and a double dribble and a ability to not double dribble. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, rant aside, Dragon Quest, a game that has inspired every game you've played in your entire lifetime, especially if you was born after the 80s or in the 80s and afterwards, every game you've played has been inspired by Dragon Quest in one way or another. One of those games are Pokemon. And basically they were arguing like, hey, the shit that you're doing was in Dragon Quest 10 years before your first game and even longer before that. So how the fuck did you, like, why do you get to hold the patent on this? Fuck out of here type beat, basically. It's basically like the whole, why is Thomas Edison credited with being the guy that revolutionized the modern usage of electricity when really it was Nikola Tesla that did all that shit? But unless you're like a fucking science nerd, you don't know who the fuck that is. And because of this jackass that used to get back shots from Trump every goddamn day before they broke up, most people nowadays don't even know Tesla was a person. They just know car company, Tesla. Yeah, that's the expensive car. No, nigga, that's a person. Anyway, and that's why Teslas are named after Nikola Tesla, because of the fact that he revolutionized electricity is supposed to symbolize that it's a revolutionary electric creation concept type. You get the point. I don't really have to go too in depth in that, but what I do have to do is cut my going back to it. One such example Pocket Pair highlighted was a Dark Souls 3 mod called Pocket Souls, and that's the crux of a new bit of legal analysis from Florian Mueller at, I don't know how to pronounce that, from Big Flo at GamesRay. Nintendo says that mods can't count as prior art because they can't stand on their own. That's true. That is very true. If you don't have the original game to mod, you're fucked. Which is also something I said with the comparison of 0.9b to Project 9b. But technically it's Project B, but it's easier to say Project 9b. But with 0.9b versus Project B, if there was no 0.9b, there would be no Project B. Same thing with, like they're saying, the Pocket Souls mod. If there's no Power World, there's no Pocket Souls. Then on top of that, let's not forget that it's not illegal to be inspired by somebody. It's just motherfuckers trying to lock down markets and economies and create as effective economies as they can before their country's version of the FCC steps in and punches them in the fucking mouth and says, you know better than to do that shit, dumbass. It'll ultimately be up to the courts to decide whether Nintendo's argument is or isn't valid, but if the company gets its way, that could set a dangerous precedent for the modding community. Yeah, because like I feel like it's very rare that the modding community needs to be legally slapped down on. Because like, for example, that mod where dude was charging for the Pokemon Power World mod, when Nintendo slapped their dick on his forehead, I think that was reasonable. Because like, first off, and like this isn't even just about a code of honor, this is just business sense 101. Fuck the whole if I'm a modder, I should be able to charge for my mod because it's hard work. Because like, technically speaking, because I remember speaking with my father about this whole Power World controversy, because I was asking him about the perspective from what the fuck do they do with all that money from a tax perspective. And like, from the mind of somebody who doesn't understand the modding community, they'll look at it as, well, these motherfuckers put in hours and hours and hours and hours of work modding different games. Like, why shouldn't they be paid for their work? 1 second, I need to fix this tab. Why shouldn't they be paid for their work? Well, it's because logistically, first off, you should just be giving away mods for free, because logistically speaking, if any company wants to come down on you and say, why are you profiting off of our game without giving us our cut and going through the proper legal channels, then you're gonna get dick put on your forehead. So like, off of a business perspective, you should not ever charge for a fucking mod. I don't care who it is. Even if it's people who are really cool with people who are modding their games like Sega, even though their policy is as long as you don't charge for the mod, they don't give a fuck. Because like I said, legal reasons, they have to slap dick on your forehead, because now you're taking bread out of our pockets. Our being me speaking from the perspective of Sega. They pretty much don't give a fuck, and a lot of the times, if you're a really amazing modder of Sonic content, they will go and hire you. You have to actually be good, because Sonic is a very popular IP. That is something you got to keep in mind. So every game designer, every person who has a fucking game design degree has probably modded Sonic before. So the good ones, the ones that come up with innovative ideas they hire those. Anyway, going back to this. They're concerned about what an adoption of Nintendo's views by the Tokyo District Court and potentially other courts in the world would mean for the modding community. Mueller writes, apart from utter disregard for the enormous creativity with which modders contribute to game-related innovation, they don't give a fuck, you gotta speak money. Modders will become fair game as their ideas could be patented by someone else unless they file for patents first, which modders typically don't. True. That part, I feel like that's more so of a protecting your ideas thing, because like I'm not too familiar with the process of filing a patent, so I don't know if it's something expensive, because most of the time people who do this stuff, they do it out the passion of their heart, and they don't want to look like assholes or dickheads to their peers, so they don't do stuff like patent ideas and shit like that. But I think if you really are creating idea and you're part of the modding community, if hold up, let me scroll back up and while I talk about this. I feel like if you're a part of the modding community and you come up with a great idea that you never seen before and that you don't want companies to smack a patent on and start charging people unnecessarily for, y'all should patent your ideas so that you can say, hey, if you're a regular nigga, just random nigga 1, 2, 3 making a game or making a mod and you use this idea, go ahead, you can use it for free. But if you're a corporation, if you're a studio, you can't patent this shit, and if you want to use it, you gotta pay me because I own the patent. And that way, so you can make some money off your idea, but you're not robbing the little guy like what these corporations would do if they saw your idea, used it in a game, and patented it before you. Because if they get that patent before you, keep in mind, modders, you don't got the millions of dollars they got. So even if you did it first, their lawyers got ways to make it so the company can slap dick on the table and say, I own this idea, bitch. I don't care if you made it first. I patented it first. So I got proof that I made it first. You don't. So yeah, that's a message to modders. Please patent these ideas. Please, so these corporations can't get it and abuse it. Alright, going back to talking about this shit. One such example, we are concerned about what an adoption of Nintendo's views by the Tokyo blah 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 blah, apart from utter disregard for the enormous creativity blah 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 blah. Fair game could be patented by someone else unless they file for it first, blah blah blah. Of course, Nintendo's lawyers probably wouldn't look at any collateral damage against mods as a particularly worrying outcome. The company has already taken direct action against Nintendo themed add-ons for Gmod, the Zelda the Breath of the Wild multiplayer mod, and more. Like, for example, that Power World mod I mentioned earlier that turned some of the Power World pals into Pokemon that people was charging for. Modders, don't charge for your stuff because logistically it's not gonna go well. Like I said, look up what happened to that dude that tried to make a Pokemon mod for Power World and put it behind a paywall on his Patreon. Nintendo straight spanked that nigga with a cease and desist. And everybody was sitting there with hands behind their back like, you want me to help you? Why? Use all that money you made from that Pokemon mod, bitch nigga. So like, and like a general thing as to how sentiment wise it'll go over in the modders community and the modding community, don't charge for your mods. Please, modders, never charge for your fucking mods. If you make a full game from scratch on some Dota 2 shit, that's different. But most of you niggas is making games or mods that are based off of other games in terms of coding and engine wise or other ideas IP wise. So if you fall under one of those two categories, which like 99% of modders fall into that category, please don't charge for your mods because nobody's coming to help you when the companies come and say cut that shit off, shut it down, ceasing to take this dick. Anyway, to keep going, blah blah blah. Oh, that's the end of the article. Just some quick stuff to go over. Wait, I gotta fix that link too. Any other ones? Okay, and just in some nobody surprise news, Fortnite proximity chat has led to thousands and thousands of different individuals banned. Wow, who would have thought that if you gave everybody the ability to just walk around and freely talk, that somebody's gonna run into somebody and say, hey, hard R, whichever hard R you're thinking of, come here, let me spit on you. Hey, hard R. Like what the fuck did you think was gonna happen with proximity chat? The reason why people don't like proximity chat is so that they can stay in their corner where they're not getting slurs and shit thrown at them. Y'all thought this would be a good idea that would go over well? Y'all see what happened in Warzone when they added proximity chat? People was joking about, ha ha ha, drop all your weapons or I'm gonna shoot you in the back. Now I'm humping you against your consent. People made bag of grapes jokes. Alright, like I don't know what made y'all think this shit was finna fly over well, but hey, hope you got a couple thousand players on your server, back on your servers after this shit. And to keep going, something where I want to talk about the state of gaming and how it is right now. I've seen. So I feel like this is a bit of an interesting conversation, because I seen an article earlier and I skimmed through it, but Costco seems to no longer be selling Xbox games or consoles. And wait, hold up. Yeah, whatever. I seen this earlier today and I skimmed through it and I wanted to have a conversation about how Costco no longer sells game consoles, basically. So, like, reading through the article, the basic summary, the basic synopsis is, if you go on Costco.com and search for Xbox games or PlayStation stuff, you can't find it. So let's test it right here. Costco. Xbox. Wait, it don't got my, okay. I was making sure I don't got my location. Xbox. This shit taking hella long. Yup. They dead ass right. Oh, yeah, that's not my actual. I don't give a fuck. I still want to change it. Yeah, let's put it in Brooklyn. Fuck it. That's my warehouse. Because that's not even my warehouse. Anyway, yeah, so it appears when you search, wait, let me, I'm gonna just say it. So yeah, it appears that when you search Xbox on Costco.com, absolutely nothing pops up. Like, I don't see any Xbox games. Like, they don't show you shit. Let me see if any Xbox games will pop up when I search games. Like, the word video game. Yeah, damn, it's to the point to where when I search up video games, like, I don't even see any Xbox video games in case. I'm scrolling, all I see is Switch games, and honestly, all I've seen are the same fucking Switch games over and over. Most of the stuff that pops up don't even have anything to do with video games. Look, scroll to the second page, it's all Switch games, so oof. Now, oh wait, no, hold up. Let's go over here. Now, the reason why I wanted to point that out and talk about that is because it's just yet another reminder that physical game releases are under attack. Now, I seen with Expedition 33, they treated giving the game a physical release like it was some type of collector's edition, when just 5 years ago, that was the default edition. The default way to buy a game was to go into a physical store and pay for it. Because of the Corbin Blue situation, a lot more people started ordering offline on Amazon and stuff like that, which makes sense. But it's to the point to where, think about it, Costco doesn't really make money off of selling Xboxes, because the idea of selling consoles, like, from a business perspective, they don't make any money off of selling consoles, because once you sell the console, which, by the way, you're selling at a loss. So let's say it costs $500 to make this console. They're selling it at, like, let's say it costs $600 to make this console and they sell it at $500. For every console they make and sell, they're losing $100, but they're supposed to make that money up in selling you games over time. So this year you buy $80 worth of games, next year you buy $100. Then on top of that, like cards for games like Fortnite, $19 Fortnite cards, PlayStation gift cards, Xbox gift cards. They're supposed to make their money from selling you consoles that they don't make money off of on the back end. But just think about it. You don't have to go to the store, and most people don't go to the store to buy any of that shit. And if they do, they buy it from the local dollar store near them. So Costco is just losing money selling consoles and games because they're selling overpriced consoles and not making any money off the back end off physical game prices. Because most people, when it comes to buying games, don't even buy games physically. They go on the Xbox, PlayStation, the Xbox storefront, PlayStation storefront, and they buy the games there. All right, that being said, that is my first batch of articles, my first bit of articles. If you would like to continue, no, don't play the goddamn video. If you would like to continue participating in this stream, all you must do is hit reload on your tab. And if you are watching this later on YouTube, make sure you come over to the stream so that we may interact and vibe live. With that being said, peace. Fuck nigga, don't forget to subscribe. I ain't said it in a while, so fuck it. Peace out. Don't forget to eat the booty like a bunny. Okay, bye. Have a wonderful time.